one of the worst feelings ever when you've ordered that perfect Christmas gift for someone only to realize that it's been stolen right outside your own home. Well, the Washington County Sheriff's Office is doing everything they can to make sure that your holiday package doesn't end up in the wrong hands. You placed the order, you waited for delivery just to find out someone took your holiday package. And now you may not have enough time or money to order another one in time for Christmas.
That whole time between sort of Black Friday and Christmas, right? Because there's a lot of online shopping going on, a lot of packages being delivered.
Detective Patrick Altier's team prepares packages for thieves to take on purpose.
We go to people who've been previously victimized and see if they'll volunteer to host our bait packages, and they're usually more than happy to.
His team prepares bait packages with a normal product in it, but that also contains a high-tech GPS tracking device.
And it communicates via cell phone, GPS, and radio frequency. All right, come on out with the package.
Detectives and past victims volunteer to host a bait package and just wait for a thief to take it.
It's kind of like fishing.
And if a thief takes it, it's mail theft, which is a felony.
The way I look at it is, like right now, a thief has two choices, something that's valuable or something that's not valuable. And we try to put that third choice in there, something that's valuable, something that's not valuable, or something that's going to get you taken to jail, right? So now there's two options that are bad and only one that's good.
So to make sure that your Christmas presents arrive on time, Detective Altier says to not leave your packages just out in the open like this for a long period of time. If you're not going to be home, try to get a neighbor to pick it up for you because these thefts happen more often than you may think.
Their doors are open, their racks are full. But even with all this preparation, business owners are still feeling uneasy as they head into the holiday season.
This is my life, 24/7. Yeah, 1 o'clock this morning, I'm waking up in a bad dream, hoping customers will show up. 2 o'clock, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, will I have the right product? And at 5 o'clock, I'm wondering what's going to show up on UPS if it's going to be the stuff I paid for.
Ed Arenello is the owner of U.S. Outdoor. Today, his staff welcomed in Small Business Saturday shoppers, as well as Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici.
It, again, has been very challenging, but I know how important small businesses are. My first job was at my mom's small business, which is a retail store. And so I wanted to hear from them and hear about their challenges, but also to understand what we can do to be helpful.
Arenello says one of the most helpful things people can do is support local businesses whenever possible.
It's a slow crawl back, and every customer purchase, every customer visit makes a difference.
The boost from Small Business Saturday is significant for just about every small business in Portland, but especially for U.S. Outdoor. This is their first Small Business Saturday in this location because of a string of issues they've had to deal with over the last year.
A lot of small businesses have struggled with not only the pandemic, but some of the rioting or the criminal activity that's occurred, whether they were broken into, raided, looted, or they have constant issues with shoplifting or the mentally ill that we need solutions for.
Despite all the different struggles, Arenello is still optimistic, hoping that this year even more customers will choose to shop at their favorite local stores all winter long.
They are, Catherine, and you know, they start from the moment you pick up a tree at a Christmas farm like this all the way until you get rid of it after Christmas.
If you spent your weekend picking out the perfect Christmas tree, you're not alone. It's that time of year for a lot of people. You probably looked at a lot of characteristics when deciding which one to pick. But did you think about the fire danger? Firefighters say you should. Heather Carpenter is with Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue.
We want to encourage individuals to make sure they're getting a fresh cut tree. Those fresh trees will last longer. The dry trees are what is going to cause the fire hazard.
There are a few easy things to keep in mind when you decorate. First, cut 2 inches off the base of the tree. Next, put it at least 3 feet from heat sources. Keep it away from an exit. And perhaps most importantly, add water to the stand daily and check the tree.
Keeping an eye on the dryness of your tree, it's really important to check it every day. You could run your hand down a branch, and if needles are falling off the tree, it's too dry and it's time to dispose of that tree.
If not, a fire can spark more easily and quickly. And when you dispose of it, that doesn't mean burning it in your fireplace. Consider any option besides that.
There's a lot of community organizations that'll take trees and recycle them. You can compost it out in your field, throw it in a pond for a fish habitat. There's a lot of different ways that you can handle your tree without burning it in the fireplace.
When you are deciding what lights to put on your tree, avoid ones that have frayed wires or loose bulbs. You can actually check to see if they're tested by a qualified lab. As always, turn them off though when you go to sleep or when you leave your house.
Well, just like everywhere around the country, the pandemic has caused a supply chain issue, but the main reason why there's a Christmas tree shortage here in Portland and in our surrounding areas is because of that giant heat wave we experienced back in the summer.
We had a little climate incident, I guess, in June, where we had 3 days of weather that were in the 110 degrees, and that took a toll on our trees.
Vanessa and Tom Bunker own the Beaverton Holiday U-Cut tree farm. The summer heat wave single-handedly killed over half of their trees.
We lost over 60% of what we planted last winter. We plant in the winter. So we lost 60% of that crop.
And it's already been a problem even before that.
Due to the hot weather. The dry conditions over the past few years have really affected the growth of the trees. So they've grown much slower. We've had a lot of attrition, so a lot of replanting of the seedlings.
This farm didn't open at all last year due to COVID and is only open one weekend this year, this weekend.
Years ago, we opened 3 or 4 weekends. We are not a huge commercial tree grower. So each of our trees is hand sheared, and so that's probably the volume that we can handle.
And the process had to change as well due to the pandemic.
We usually serve a complimentary hot cider, and due to COVID, we won't be able to do that this year. We usually tie trees onto vehicles, and due to COVID, we won't be able to do that this year. We'll ask people to wear masks when they're not able to socially distance, such as, when they come to square up their order or have their tree shaken.
The Bunkers primarily grow Douglas firs, the Oregon state tree. And as Oregon residents, it's heartbreaking to see the trees this way.
To see them not doing well under the conditions that they have historically thrived in points to some alarming things about what's in our future for tree farming.
So if you want a real tree like this one, although maybe not as big unless you have a really big house, then it's probably a good idea to visit a Christmas tree farm sooner rather than later.